What's up guys, it's your boy Alex and welcome to Gauss Prime. Today I will share with you 5 different builds for pretty much every scenario you could find yourself in the game. So, Gauss Prime compared to the regular has a bit more sprint speed and max shield, and obviously looks better. Well, doesn't look better when I make the fashion, like what is this goofy Power Ranger looking at. Let's quickly go through the abilities, shall we? The passive is a battery that charges the more you move. With higher battery, your abilities and survivability improves. Mech Rush. You become the Flash and colliding with terrain ragdolls enemies in a radius. Kinetic Plating. You become immune to statuses and gain damage reduction up to 100%. If that wasn't enough, you also gain energy back when enemies hit you. Thermal Sunder. AoE nuke that either does heat or cold damage. This ability will be explained additionally when we get to the nuke build. Redline. You gain insane buffs to attack speed, fire rate, reload speed and casting speed. You also do some minor AoE. One disclaimer before we start is that I have 5 duration shards on, so your stats might not be the same if you don't have these, but don't worry. I will explain how the builds changed based on if you have them or not. Only 1 or 2 builds change a bit, but now let's not waste any more time and jump straight to the builds. First off, we have a standard duration build. In case you don't know, our 4th ability scales from duration, and if you check the bonuses we get, it can get kinda crazy. Rest of the stats should be pretty evenly spread, with the exception of efficiency being a little higher. Now you might have noticed something weird with the build, so let me explain it. We have corrosive projection instead of sprint boost, and this is very important. Well, Too Long Didn't Read version of this is that it helps us fully armor strip the enemies with our thermal sunder. Not many people actually know this, and for a good reason. It literally doesn't even say anywhere. So basically all you need to do is have redline active, cast a heat sunder and follow it up with a cold sunder, and rush in between the casts. Rushes are necessary to keep the battery as full as possible. Now for the base steel path, you need like 2 heat sunders and 1 cold sunder, and you will immediately clear like everything in your range. As for the highest level corrupted heavy gunners from the simulacrum, 3 heat sunders are required. And remember that you don't need to worry about cast speed since our red line will take care of that. Our range is not incredible on this build, so we will use Sunder for stripping acolytes and tanky enemies only, instead of spamming it all the time. I suggest going to invert tap/hold abilities and inverting the thermal sunder so that on tap you will have your heat sunder. This will make your casts a lot faster. Back to the build. Rush for extra move speed, cause who doesn't wanna run fast. Prime flow, cause Gauss likes having a high energy pool. Molt efficiency for even more duration, and molt augmented for extra strength. This is actually a flex slot, since we don't even really need more strength. You could change this depending on the weapons you will be using. For the focus school, you could use anything. I honestly didn't even find the need for anything in particular. By default, I use generic in case extra energy sustain is needed. So this build is Sicko mode. Survivability is our 2nd ability and high mobility. Gauss is so fast that enemies practically can't even hit you as long as you are moving. Here in the clip I use a Gauss Prime. You can check everything about it from my previous video. I will leave the link down in the description. I can say with confidence that this is one, if not the most fun frame to play in the game. You are fast, you have crowd control, armor strip, fire rate, status immunity, 100% damage reduction. I don't know what more you could ask from a frame. For the steel path nuke build, we want max efficiency and range. Strength could go more into negative, but I like it when it's about 100%. Now here is where the duration shards kick in. If you don't have them, you should use Constitution or Augur Message instead of Augur Reach. Also switch your power drift to cunning drift to get half of the lost range. Also using fleeting expertise and streamline 1 upgrade of max not only saves 2 mod slots, but it also gives you 10% more duration since the efficiency cap is 175%. We have Archon Vitality for extra hit procs from our Sunder. It can also be used at rank 0 since we don't really need the HP, but since I had mod slots available I put the upgraded version on, cause why not. Here we do want the extra strength, so Molt Augmented is pretty good, and Arcane Energized to keep our energy maxed out at all times. As you can see, we don't have Prime Flow on this build. If you don't have Arcane Energized, you might need to sacrifice some more strength and put Prime Flow on instead of Umbral Intensify. This is up to you. Alternative is the usage of Xenaric's Wellspring. The build works even on 40% starting strength. Only thing that changes is the amount of heat Sunders that are required to be cast. Let me show you. Yeah, isn't this frame kinda crazy? When your red line is fully charged, you can just cast Sunder without rushing, since your battery doesn't drain at all. So this build you can use on Fissure runs, normal or steel path, bounties, any high level exterminates, Sanctuary Onslaught. Just take care of Elite Sanctuary, since Simaris will cry if you spam abilities too fast. So for this build you really don't need any weapons, you can use only Sunder and it will be enough. I am honestly surprised that not many people talk about this, as it can AoE clear level cap enemies with some hitting carried primers like Epitaph or Bubonica. Since for some reason your Cold Sunder will detonate all heat procs, not only the ones made by Heat Sunder, but that's a theme for another video, as I'd like to keep this video not 1 hour long. The third build is the speed build. We have Sprint Boost, Rush and Speed Drift for extra sprint speed. The stats we care about are duration, strength and efficiency. We also have Prime Flow and Preparation, so we don't worry about energy at all. Molt Efficiency for more duration, and the second arcane is a flex slot. You can run whatever you want. I run Nullifier so we can resist the annoying magnetic procs. Now again, this build slightly changes based on duration shards. If you don't have them, just slot Primed Continuity instead of Transient Fortitude. Our subzoom is Infested Mobility, so we can go even faster. Now, what's the use of this build? Well, I don't know, you figure it out. You could go break the sound barrier, do some racing with your friends, or just mess around with Greenear around Blades of Eidolon. Also, remember that the first ability actually lets you run above water. The fourth build, as you can see that the name is Weirdo, and it's for a good reason. We prioritize 3 of the 4 stats, but we keep range a bit above the minimum. As you can see, our signature ability is subzoomed, and we have Roar instead. So the point of this build is to get as many buffs as possible and make a good weapon platform. So the subzoom can either be Roar, Eclipse or Nourish. It all depends if you are playing solo or not. The fourth ability gives us fire rate and attack speed, and we have the augment for our third ability, Thermal Transfer. This gives us extra heat and cold damage to our guns, so we basically have as many raw damage buffs as possible. The arcanes are Molt Augmented and Molt Efficiency once again. Also, I decided to change the aura mod to Enemy Radar, since with the loss of our speed ability, knowing where to move next will save us a lot of time. So this build is a weapon platform. It can be used as a support buff frame as well. In case you are playing solo, you could remove range mods fully and add more duration or strength instead. This build can be used in, for example, Steel Path Survival, after a long and exhausting day, in case you are sick of Octavia and would like to actually play the game a little bit instead of breaking your pinky finger. But let's be real, not having the first ability makes Gauss significantly less fun to play, so this is probably my least favorite build of the 5. And the last build for today, Ammo Unlimited. We only care about duration and efficiency here. Stat-wise, it's similar to the first build apart from range, which we will keep at minimum because we don't need it. Energized Munition is our subzoom. This will let us spray bullets without a worry in the world. Arcanes are the same as usual. Now this build is the real Sicko mode, with max out efficiency, a lot of energy max and very high duration. You can go absolutely crazy. You can play piano on the keyboard while eating your mouse and you will still not run out of energy or bullets. And even when your mag does go dry, you will reload up to 160% faster. Also remember that using energized munition does reload your mag if empty as well, so timing this for maximum destruction is an option too. That's gonna be the end. I hope you have learned something new about Gauss. Be sure to like if you found the video entertaining and subscribe if you want to see more. I will catch you all in the next one.